Okay, so we're going to review slope-intercept form because this all kind of ties in together. Slope, all the scatter plots, it's all kind of the same. So we're going to review that. And remember, slope-intercept form, that's your y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope. So that's your change in y over your change in x. B is your y-intercept. Okay, so that's where it crosses the y-axis. So number 1 says a video store charges $3 to rent a movie. The store also offers a membership that costs $15. Members are allowed to rent movies for $150 each. Write an equation to represent each rental plan. And we want to let C represent the total cost and M represent the number of movies rented. Okay, so we'll do the first video store. So they charge $3 to rent a movie. So the cost would be $3 times M, because M is the number of movies. So however many movies, we're going to multiply that by $3. And then for the second store, or for the second option, the store also offers a membership that costs $15. So your starting fee, you're paying $15 for the membership. And so if you pay that, then you only have to pay $150 per movie, $150 each. So it's kind of the same format as y equals mx plus b, or it is the same format as mx plus b. We're just using C instead and M. And so on the first one, just kind of throwing it back to earlier this week, this is proportional and this is non-proportional because of the b value. Okay, number 2, Mr. Reeves buys concert tickets online. The ticket provider charges a one-time convenience fee with each online purchase. The table shows the total cost for purchasing different numbers of tickets. Write an equation to determine C, the total cost for N. Okay, so there's a one-time fee, so that means there's going to be a plus B. There's going to be a y-intercept. I just have to figure out what that is. So first let's figure out the slope. So the change in y over the change in x. So I'm going to subtract these two, 202.5 minus 127.5, and I get 75. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. So my change in y over change in x, my slope, 75 over 2, which is 37.5. Okay, so that's my slope. So y equals 37.5x plus, now we want to figure out what the y-intercept is going to be. So remember, to do that, we can use any of these points in our table. Okay, so any x value and any y value. So that's what I'm going to do kind of over here. So y equals 37.5 x plus something. So I'm going to pick 3 for my x value and 127.5 for my y value. So let's see what happens when I plug that in. So y should be 127.5, and 37.5 times 3 plus your b value. So 37.5 times 3 is 112.5 plus b equals 127.5. Okay, so then we're solving for b. So I'm going to subtract 112, just like you would do a one-step equation. So 127.5 minus 112.5. And I get 15. So that means my y-intercept is 15. So 37.5 per ticket plus the $15 one-time convenience fee. Number 3, the Pine Tree UIL team holds a car wash to raise money. The team spends $12.50 for supplies and charges a fee of $5 per car. Write an equation to model the relationship between y, the total earnings, and for washing X number of cars. So in this case, usually when you see fee, that goes with your extra number. In this case, they kind of flipped it around. So don't let those words mess you up. So y, the total earnings, equals $12.50 for supplies plus $5 per car. Okay, so since X is going to be representing the cars, that's going to go with that $5. So 5X. So $12.50 plus 5X. Number 4, Mr. Martin receives a gift card to Coffee Express. Mr. Martin purchases a coffee each morning with the gift card as shown in the table. Write an equation to determine B, the gift card balance after D days. So let's figure out the slope first. So 31 minus 35.5 gives me negative 4.5, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So the slope, the y over x, negative 4.5 over 2, negative 2.25. So that's my slope. So y equals negative 2.25x. And I want to see if there is a y-intercept. And since it's going by 2's, I'm just going to go backwards instead of plugging in and doing all that business. Because 2 minus 2 is going to be 0. And so whatever I get over here is going to be my y-intercept. Okay, so then since this way would be subtracting, we're going to go backwards. So I'm going to take that 35.5 and add 4.5. And I get to 40. Okay, so remember y-intercept is the value when x equals 0. So positive 40. So negative 2.25x plus 40. Number 5, look at the graph of the line. Write an equation that best represents the function. Okay, so first things first, when we got a graph, find your y-intercept. So that means look at your y-axis, look at your slope line, and where does that line cross your y-intercept? At negative 4. Okay, so that's my B, that's my y-intercept. Then we want to look as best we can and find some more points to see what our slope is. What's our rise over our run? Okay, so from point to point, I found a good one there because that kind of falls in the crosshairs, and that one will work too. Okay, so from this point, my starting point, I go up 2, and I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that can't be reduced anymore, so that is my slope. So y equals 2/5 x minus 4. Okay, on the back, number 1, a balloon is released from the top of a 75-foot building. The balloon rises, it's going up, at a rate of 2 feet per second. Which equation describes the height of the balloon h after s seconds? So it's going up 2 feet per second, so that means 2s, and it's released from the top of a 75-foot building, so it's starting 75 feet in the air. So we can get rid of these because they don't have all the information we need. We can get rid of this one because the variable's on the wrong number. Number 2, which of the following shows the correct equation for the function represented by the ordered pairs? So if these were in a table, and I really don't think you guys will see a question like this, but if this was on the star, if these were on a table, it'd be a little bit easier to see. So negative 8, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2 are my x values. So then your y values, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So all of these slopes are different except for these two. Those are the same. So let's go ahead and find out what our slope is, and that'll maybe help us eliminate. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Negative 6 minus negative 8 is 2. And so my slope is negative 1/2 or negative 0.5. And that's the only answer choice that has the right slope. So it's going to be F. Number 3, an art studio charges $65 per month for art lessons. There's also an additional supply fee of $25 at the time of registration. Which equation best describes the total cost given the number of months M? So $65 per month. If the number of months is supposed to be my variable, then that means that's got to go with 65. So 65 M, and there's an additional fee of $25, so that should be by itself. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this. They combine those two numbers. We don't want to do that. Those are two separate things. You're not paying $90 a month. You're paying $65 a month per lessons, and then a one-time, it looks like additional supply fee of $25 at the time of registration, so at the very beginning. And so we're either adding or we're subtracting. If you're going to pay a fee plus so much per month, you want to add those two together to get your total. And number 4, Natasha graphs line M on a coordinate plane, which the following equations best represents the line Natasha graphs. So first thing, find your B, your y-intercept. And so that line goes through at 3. And see if we can eliminate anything from there. And we can. G has +5 and J has +5. So those are both going to be wrong. And so now let's make a good point. Let's see right here. Because it goes through those crosshairs. And it goes from point to point. It goes down 1, 2, 3. So -3 or -3 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -3/5. So it's got to be H. And the very last one. Marcy receives a coupon for outdoor experts and decides to purchase new chairs for her outdoor patio. The table shows the cost for different numbers of chairs for outdoor experts. So the number of chairs, that's my X value. The total cost is my Y value. And we want to see which equation best shows the relationship between T, the total cost, and C, the number of chairs. So find your slope first, because all of these slopes, well, these two are the same. So that's probably what we're going to be deciding between. But those are both the same. So anywho's, let's find our slope. Change in Y over change in X. So 441 minus 312, 129. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So, yep, we're going to have to decide between A and C. And if my B value is going to be either -75 or +75. And on this one, since we're so close to 0, we could probably go backwards. So if I go backwards 1 here, -1, that would get me to 2. And since this is changing by 129, let's just subtract 129 from 312. And so that gets me to 183. And then let's keep going. So one more. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 183 minus 129 is 54. And then let's go one more so we can have 0 for our X value. So 54 minus 129. And it's -75. So it's going to be A.